then we try to maximize our time. If she's traveling to Europe or Latin America, then I try to join her, or if I am traveling, then she tries to join me. It's becoming more and more difficult as our son is growing up, and school becomes an issue. When you're small, you could take him off school and travel with us anywhere, but it's becoming difficult. But at the same time, he's growing up, so he wants to see his parents as less as possible as well. So, but again, it's a very valid question. It's a big challenge. I don't want to minimize it. It's a big challenge, but we try and manage it.
And I also read that you are an avid golfer now, doing all this transcontinental travels and coinciding with your spouse's schedules and your son and multiple businesses across continent. How do you why do you play golf, and where do you do it, and how do you get time, and why this?
That's one advice. If I qualified enough to give an advice, one advice I would like to give is, you outside of your business, find something that you enjoy. Whether it's sports, whether it's music, whether it's reading or whatever it is, find something that takes you away from your business on daily, weekly, monthly, or whatever basis that you can afford to. But find something that you are really interested in, that makes you happy, and pursue that. And in my case, it's golf. I carry my clubs wherever I go. I have clubs here in India. I have clubs in the US. And I like going out. And we live in cities. We don't see green too much. I find going out on the golf course, I missed all the green, and having a challenge of playing golf, very mentally satisfying, and it takes your mind away from business, day-to-day challenges.
Thank you for that answer. And the other question I have is really, in closing, really, and I'm really sorry, we are just going to be out of time now, but because I know that he's going to shut off the lights after some time. So, but I'm sure Brij is going to be. He's in Pune, right? At least for a part of his time. So I'm sure we're going to get hold of him, and otherwise outside of this room as well before he leaves this evening. But really, Brij, in closing, because I just want to be, you've really taken a lot of your time in this interview today. But tell us, I would say a word of advice. That would be something. But what would you advise? What would you say to people who are desirous of getting into a healthcare entrepreneurship? What would be your, top areas that they should consider as opportunity areas for them, and what would be your secret sauce, if you will, or some tricks to minimize their risks of failure in those spaces? If you can just share some of that experience in a nutshell with us, with our community here.
So I think from a healthcare perspective, there's plenty of opportunity. The percentage GDP spent on healthcare in India is less than 2% compared to 14, 15 or nearly 20% in developed countries. So the scope is going to be huge. Also, as standard of living increases, people spend their money as they earn more and more money. They spend money on two things. One is food and clothing, and second is medical healthcare. So I think the potential to provide services within the healthcare space, whether it's IT or whether it's medical services or non-medical services, is going to be tremendous. So for entrepreneurs who want to develop businesses in these areas, I think there's tremendous potential and opportunity. From an IT perspective, I think US is going to be a very attractive destination as well. There is going to be a significant amount of spend in the US market on healthcare IT. But the challenge really is going to be to translate what you have developed here in the Indian market for the US market. So be very aware of those challenges, because it's not easily translatable. You're not going to be able to take a product that you developed for the Indian market and sell it in the US market. It's just not going to happen until you customize it for the US market. The US market remember, is, it's one of the most competitive markets in the world. So unless you have that sophistication in your product, it's not going to be attractive enough to attract the audience.
Any areas in the healthcare space that you see growing over the next 5-10 years?
In the Indian market?
Yeah, Indian as well as global.
I mean, Indian market again, whether it's from equipment manufacturers to IT, everything is going to continue to grow. Healthcare is relatively stable market than some other manufacturing or other areas are. It's not a hockey stick market. So, but year over year, there's always 20 to 30% growth in the healthcare services or healthcare field. So, plenty of opportunities. Pursue what you think you have the skill set for, your ideas, and
Could you shed some light on medical tourism?
sure. So medical tourism again, it's a fast-growing area. The biggest challenge in medical tourism is the biggest market for medical tourism is the US. And unfortunately, because of litigation and legal issues in the US, that market is not really translating into business for India. It's more directed towards Mexico and some other countries there. But medical tourism is growing. I mean, Thailand is a big destination. Philippines has started to grow. India obviously attracts a lot of patients from Gulf, as well as some from Europe. It's a growing area, but it has its own challenges that need to be managed.
Like what?
Quality of care is a big issue. What happens? I mean, the biggest question is, you can come here, get treated, but once you go back, and if things go back, then what happens? Right? It's a big
The
issue.
fourth aspect is the insurance reimbursement, which people who are abroad, they come here for treatment, of course they have to pay much less, but again, it's not covered if they want to go over here, they don't get insurance reimbursement.
Well, I mean, for example, in the US, the insurance reimburses for any expenses. I mean, most of the policies will cover international travel. For people in India who are going out, you can buy international insurance.
No,
You
it's
can
not
buy
the travel insurance, I'm talking about the medical insurance.
So travel insurance covers medical as well.
I think if you have a regular insurance plan in the US and you come to India for treatment, will your insurance plan cover the treatment in India?
Yeah. If they don't fall sick,
No.
they come here as a planned trip for getting treated.
Let me not answer that because I don't know that. I know for sure that if it's not a planned medical treatment, then it's definitely covered.
Correct.
Yeah, then it is covered.
Whether
If
it's-
it is a planned one.
If it's a planned one, I don't know.
I think it does not. So that's one of the biggest barriers to medical tourism.
Exclusion.
But the challenge is, I don't think there is any exclusion as such. I haven't seen it in any policy. But the big challenge is from the legal perspective. I mean, the insurance company will not encourage you to go out and get treatment, right? Because of litigation. But if you went out yourself and got medical treatment, I don't know how
There is
they'll
a-
respond to it.
There is a scope for third-party companies who are probably entering this market of medical tourism, wherein they actually, provide a continuum of care services which is tied up with their local insurance providers. So if you
There are some
opportunity.
companies, yeah,
That's an
yeah,
opportunity.
absolutely.
So, in fact, we are working with one of them in US. So I just came to know about this concept, so I thought of
Great.
sharing it.
There are definitely companies who will provide the whole gamut of services from flying you in to treating you to
To post
Post care.
They are facilitators.
Yeah, they are facilities. They are having tie-ups with employers basically. So the model is like a tie-up between employers and the company.
Hey friends, I really hate to stop this interesting conversation, but we do have some limitation on time. Believe it or not, we've been talking for 1.5 hours, and it's been a great conversation, Brij. Thank you very much for letting us know that you're going to be in India first of all, and then spending this evening with us and educating us a lot about your interesting journey, first of all, as a son of an army man to engineering college student from COEP, our own, and then to MBA, and getting into insurance space with no background of insurance, health, and then now becoming the largest TPA, 2 million lives. This is a very impressive, and I'm sure that's just going to grow as your company grows. Express clinics, you're going to be 5 clinics in a few years' time. It's a great story to hear about and to be a part of this. We're really privileged to be here today. Thank you very much, and I want to ask Hemant to propose a word of thanks. He will be here, so you can catch hold of him in the lobby if you can get hold of him and keep the conversation going. But we really have a limitation on time.
So we'd like to thank Mr. Sharma for sharing his journey with us and giving us valuable insights. Also want to thank Vishwas for stepping in and doing more than a wonderful job of facilitating today's session. We'd like to thank Gurmeet Singh for the introduction and also welcoming everybody here. I'd like to request Vishwas actually to give a memento to Brij. Would like to thank the audience for participating in today's event and coming with a lot of questions. I guess healthcare is an important topic for everybody and touchy subject for some. So I guess showed in the type of questions we had today. So we would like to, of course, see the same level of participation in the upcoming TiE events. I just want to mention some information about the upcoming events next week, 25th and 26th. In association with SAP, we have a startup focused program. And on the 1st of August, we have a Grub Shop session on Law College Road. The topic there is opportunities in Europe. We would like to thank all the charter members, the volunteers, and the TiE Pune team for making this event possible. We would like to request the audience to fill up the feedback forms in case you haven't done so. You can submit the same to Madhura. And last but not the least, for those who are not TiE members, would request you to talk to Madhura or Mandar to see how you can become part of TiE. So to conclude once again, thank you to the guests, facilitator, and to all of you for making today's event a great success. Thank you.